Foreign Things, of course. That was a song that made my my year-end playlist. It's so good instrumentally.
Yeah.
There's so much going on there, like that really just works well. The keys on there are pounding, but the guitar riffs that she's placed on there, I don't know who produced it. It says she's a producer. I couldn't find who produced the album, but like, yeah, like it's really good instrument.
Yeah, man, like that hook where it transitions into like that post-chorus section that fills the air with that atmosphere, and then like you get into that acapella. I'm like, yeah, like bravo, miss, bravo. That
Yeah,
song, yeah.
yeah, it's
I-
great.
Let me put you on game.
Moving to our next topic, we've got an album review for you guys. More music is what we do. It's the new album from Amber Mark. If you're not familiar with her, she is a singer, songwriter, and producer from Tennessee. We're going to be talking about her debut album, Three Dimensions Deep. Amber Mark is an artist that popped up on my top 25 songs of 2021. I just happened to hear the song, in the last month, so it barely snuck in there. She was not an artist I was that familiar with. I heard a song here or there, but I wasn't too familiar with her work. But this is my first experience with her music on the whole, and I have to say I'm really impressed. I really enjoyed this. There's a lot to like. She takes a lot of different avenues and risks sonically that I really enjoyed. I think she has a lot of charisma and she has a lot to offer. But yeah, for a first introduction, I was really impressed with this album. What about you?
yeah. Yeah, for me, I was really blown away by what she was able to accomplish on this track listing. She kind of takes you on a journey to her darkest moments, and in a lot of ways claws her way towards a brighter path by the end of the project. So she really kind of brings you along this adventure. Sonically, I feel she's really talented and she has a lot to offer from an artistic perspective. Blending, like you said, um, elements of R&B, hip hop, and a little bit of rock to create a unique project that I really feel like stands on its own amongst her contemporaries. So, I can't wait to get into the breakdown.
For sure. I think we look at our list of albums that we're going to review. I was like, oh, she came out. Let's just check it out. And I was just like, wow, this is this is great. Yeah, I'm really glad we reviewed this because I was just kind of expecting to just, this is okay, or R&B a lot of times these days can be very samey, or it can be a little boring. There's not really a lot of risk to it. It's just kind of vibes for vibes sake. But I think she just completely blew it out of the water with a lot of these songs. I don't think it's a perfect album. I think there are some songs where like they're more interlude than actual full songs. But I think overall, like there were a lot of moments on this where I was like, wow,
Yeah.
she's taking it there. She's doing it. But
Yeah.
even starting with one, like I really wasn't ready. Like that's that was the first track, and yeah, incredible intro. I love the percussion on here. It's a killer soul sample. I love how she's almost rapping on the verses, and she's also showing off her power and her vocals on the chorus. And she's sounds like she's reaching out to someone and just hoping that they're like whatever she's doing now is making them proud, regardless of wherever they are. So that was really touching. And what it is like Jesus. Like, yeah, like it's almost it's tough to find the words for it, but yeah, her vocals are really heavenly, really well placed harmonies early, and like a really well written melody. The bridge, once she gets into that on the second half of the song, is really powerful, and then the guitar on the back end is killer, a really nice touch. And she gets into Most Men, and I love how she sets the tone with the organ, and the track itself grows with the clapping production, and definitely a straight to the point track. I think we've heard some of this on the FKA Twigs album as well, about just knowing your worth as a woman and not letting these dudes play you. So
Yeah.
I'm here for it. You know, then into Healing Hurts. I think that I love the chorus there. The bass is really heavy, but I think it works well here, and I think this just first 4-track section really kind of sold me on what I was in for. Like I was hooked at that moment.
Yeah. No, definitely. I love the hip hop production style for on one, but her vocals really transform it into that R&B element. It's because she sings so well that her energy just embodies R&B. Her essence embodies R&B. So even though the beats are very hip hop in nature, it it fuses into R&B because of her style. And I thought it was a nice kind of dig into her personal challenges and seeing that she's clearly struggling with making it in the music industry, and really being keen to the fact that it's a step-by-step process. So a lot of this project is her counseling herself and kind of self-soothing, while again just trying to claw her way back up. So this song really starts at the bottom of where she's feeling off in a lot of ways, and then going into what it is. Yeah, the synth bass leads and the piano, the mix of funky and soulful. It was a funky and soulful mix, but it also felt very contemporary. It was catchy, it was well layered, it was satisfying, really silky smooth soundscape. And like you mentioned, that bridge was just phenomenal, man. She does some crazy stuff on bridges and post choruses on this project that we're gonna get into.
People don't really be writing bridges like that no more. So yeah, she was killing it. Yeah.
Yeah, most men, it gave me like No Scrubs vibes. And it was funny at times. I thought that the writing could have used a little more polishing, but overall it was a fun song. Just, hey, yeah, ladies, get out of these toxic relationships and know that you can find someone who actually values you. Healing Hurts, another banging 80s 808s beat behind her vocals, which were really something to behold. You know, just going through the healing process of a broken relationship. It was really the synth piano keys and the background setting was dramatic but kind of bright. Then moving into this second stretch of the album, I thought that there was a lot to like here. Bubbles, you know, the beat drop on the chorus was really dope. The song was more of a vibe to me, and between the chorus and the post chorus, and the lyrics weren't as important as kind of the other elements that she was able to bring in, and that vibe element alongside the, you know, the wind instruments that were peppered in here and there. I think it was like some flute towards the end of the song that was nice. Softly, bro, these two songs between Softly and FOMO, my goodness, the harp and Softly with the hip hop and the R&B that created this unique sound that I was, you know, pointing at the beginning of my breakdown. It was a mixture of catchiness and sultriness with a great balance of rhythm. Um, and I liked how she kind of sung from the perspective of herself as well as her lover. That was really nice. I thought that was really nice touch. And then FOMO, it was really giving me like New Jack Swing vibes with the bass guitar, the leads, the bright chorus, the fast-paced percussion. You know, some kind of like a Motown Philly in that same like universe. But it again, she's able to take those influences and really stand out on her own. And then yeah, that second verse, she has some bars. Like her pen game is strong. And then going into Turning Pages, I like the beat, but it felt a bit redundant to me. And I thought, you know, could have been left off the project overall. The singing was nice and the chorus, but the chorus kind of underwhelmed me compared to the dynamic sounds that were created from the first 7 tracks before. It's not bad, it's just not as good as the rest. How about you? What do you think of this stretch and the stretch going forward?
Yeah, same on Turning Pages. I think for most other albums, like if the rest of the songs were bad and you put Turning Pages on, you'd be like, oh, this is good. The rest of it sucks, but this is good. But because the rest of it is so good, I could see how like, oh, this is cool. I could see how it becomes like a skippable track. But again, like you said, it's not bad. Bubbles I thought was cool. It kind of almost gave me like a swimming pools kind of feel, not sonically, but just the fact that she's making like this. It has almost an Afrobeats feel to it in parts, but she's making a song about drowning her sorrows in alcohol, you know. So it has that dance feel to it, but she's kind of, you know, depressed about her situation. And I guess it could kind of sound like if you're in the middle of a club and you're, you know, crying your eyes out while drinking alcohol and dancing, like, you know, it looks like, it might look like a happy moment from far away, but I guess close up it looks a little bit more, you know, daunting and depressing. But yeah, Softly, that was, you know, her dance hall cut. I really enjoy like when R&B artists are able to actually dip into other genres, and she actually does it in a way that I think is really refreshing, and it fits her sound. I don't think it sticks out too much on the album, which could be a risk when you do a different genre.
Yeah.
FOMO, I like the guitar licks are a nice touch. It has a nice groove. And then Foreign Things, of course, that was a song that made my year-end playlist. It's so good instrumentally.
Yeah.
There's so much going on there, like that really just works well. The keys on there are pounding, but the guitar riffs that she's placed on there, I don't know who produced it. It says she's a producer. I couldn't find who produced the album, but like, yeah, like it's really good instrumentally. It's so catchy, and she's so charismatic on the chorus. It's definitely one of my favorites on the album for sure. It's a standout. I think it's one of the best tracks that came out last year, and I'm not being hyperbolic. I think it's that good.
Yeah, man,
Uh,
like that hook where it transitions into like that post-chorus section that fills the air with that atmosphere, and then like you get into that a cappella. I'm like, yeah, like bravo, miss, bravo.
yeah,
That song, yeah.
yeah, it's
I-
great. I
yeah.
echo your sentiments for sure. On and on, I love that one too. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Super Rich Kids by Frank Ocean, the with the
Mm,
bass. Yeah, the violin, like
mm,
it's very sparse on there, but it
yeah.
works so well. Like she just put like just enough of it to really dial it home. And I think the bass brings a really nice pace to it. Um, Out of This World was cool. It's a nice track, but it's one of those songs that felt a little bit like an interlude to me. But you know,
Mm,
I still enjoyed it. And then Cosmic, I really love that one. That one was a huge crescendo for like overall the course of the track. She really just takes it there vocally, and I think it's really gorgeous. But yeah, that section was one of my favorites.
oh yeah. Piggybacking on and on, I feel like her pen game was really strong here. And just this chorus where not sorry, this verse where she states, look to a look to a pool of giving up, feel like jumping in, keep saying that I'll be okay, but I stay waiting for that sunny day. When your heart felt so apart and you don't just feel good enough to reach for stars, it's like I'm winning each and every day, but is it winning if it's always third place? I was just like, man, it was so poetic. Um, it was so, it really captures your imagination, so you understand where she is mentally, you understand her struggles. And it's really interesting her talking the way she does, because it sounds like she has legit mental illness struggles, you know what I mean? She
Mhm.
references anxiety at other points in the project. She talks about depression from a very personal state, um, and examines it in a very artful way. And I really dug that she could let us into where her life is. And I love how artists are just able to, that the best artists are able to tap into their pain in ways that the average artist just can't do. And these lines really stood out for me. But yeah, Out of This World, it was a really different type of song that she crafted here. Between this and Cosmic, um, it was she kind of takes you on this intergalactic journey in a lot of ways, and it
Yeah.
alludes to her album cover. It alludes to the title of the project, and she's able to do that with these repetitive synth notes as well as the deep piano, and make you feel like you're in a spaceship. You know, has kind of that beat boppy feel to it. And then going into Cosmic, it like really captures that same energy, like you from Out of This World, with those repetitive synth notes and that outer space kind of feeling. Just well crafted conceptually, and great vocals on that song. But then going into Dark Side, man, like this is giving me very echoey, distant vocals that were created and reminiscent of The Way You Make Me Feel by Michael Jackson. It was like an 80s banger in a lot of
That's the
ways,
song. That's the
you
song.
know?
I felt like I was looking for like what song. Yeah, that's it. All right, yeah, finally. Thank you. I was trying to figure out
Yeah.
what song it sounded like to me.
Yeah, and just I love how she's able to blend all these different styles. And this was a nice departure, and I just love what she was singing about on this song. Dark Side was really, I really enjoyed it, and it 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 was so energetic. And then Worth It was a nice double time percussion with the beat and good tempo. It was a little repetitive, and then I was reading up about it, and she was essentially, this is kind of a one of those personal anthems in the same vein as like a Lil Sims, where this was more so for her than I think it was for the audience,
Mhm.
and I guess more of an interlude in a lot of ways. But I still like what she was able to do. It wasn't my favorite, but I like what she was able to do with the piano elements and the other production notes that was sprinkled in. But then going into Competition, another song that really builds and gets better towards the end, with the open guitar synth chords and then the beat that drops in, and then the message of the song was really inspiring as well. A lot of charisma that doesn't let up. I just like how the song, it starts off slow, but it just builds into something really spectacular.
For sure. Yeah, she closes the album really strong. Uh Yeah, Dark Side is amazing. I love the industrial production. It has like a little bit of an 80s feel to it, which I mean, I guess makes sense with the whole Michael Jackson thing. But
Yeah.
the vocal filter is a really nice touch. Yeah, Worth It I think is okay. I didn't have anything notable about it, but I guess I could see what you're saying about it being more for the audience and for us. For her. More for her than the audience, I guess I should say. But yeah, she really brings it home, I think, with the last couple of tracks. Competition is a jam. Choir, I feel like along with horns, you know me, I love horns. Choirs is another thing that I feel like, especially with R&B or most genres, honestly, like choirs just really work well, and I think it's a nice touch here. It really takes the track to a new level on the second half. Bliss, another super catchy song, and I think this song and many others kind of just dial home the fact that she has so much charisma throughout the entire album. Like she really sells herself as an artist to you through her ingenuity, through her songwriting, through her vocal chops, and through her charm. I think she has a lot of charm as an artist on the album, and it really I think it just sells the album itself to me and her as artist as well. She has a great like ear for melody throughout this whole album. Like I think that's one of the things that stands out to me the most as well. It's just she has a great ear for what's catchy, what's impactful, what
Mhm.
really works within the context of the instrumental. I think she just really, really is adept at, you know, bringing that home. Event Horizon, I think, was a beautiful closer, beautiful guitar and a wonderful falsetto to match. And like you said about Cosmic, I think it also fits for this one. I think, the Event Horizon being, I think is a black hole phenomenon, right? Like
Yeah.
I think if you've seen those pictures of what or videos of what a black hole could look like and you played this song over it, I feel like it would just fit. I think
Yeah.
it just works. I think this could definitely be the soundtrack to like a really cool deep space journey, you know. But I think it does
Yeah.
a really good job of closing out the sections of the album because it almost does feel like the album is divided into three different sections in a way.
Mm.
So I guess that's
Yeah.
what the three dimensions deep is about. So I think this
Okay.
last section is the final dimension in a way. So I think that really closes out the album really well because sometimes closing tracks can kind of be like a forgetful afternote sometimes, or you listen to 15, 16, 17 songs already. And you're like, oh, the closing song. All right, let's get this over with. But I think she does a good job of really closing it out with something that's impactful and that's really beautiful. And that really sold the concept of the album. And it really, you know, brought some emotions out of me. I thought it was really beautiful. But what do you think about this
Yeah.
last section?
Yeah, man. Bliss. Oh my God. She did something really impressive in this track where I thought that, and stay with me. She blended elements of TLC and Prince. The beat
That's
gave
not
me
that crazy. I thought
waterfall.
you were gonna say something. I thought you were gonna say something else.
Yeah, like the beat gave me waterfalls vibes and
Hmm.
flashbacks in terms of the synths and the bass guitar elements. But then her falsetto was very Prince-esque with a sense of like kind of triumph and satisfaction. And she went there in this song. And I liked the nice departure from the beginning and middle sections of the project. Like she took us in a different direction, and her falsetto is pretty phenomenal, I must say. But yeah, that Event Horizon, that atmospheric soundscape with the acoustic guitar and the piano were really heavenly, and just a great way to end the project literally on a high note. Like literally and figuratively, she ended the project on a high note, and I was really impressed by this last track and just what she was able to accomplish, man. Like this project feels like she pulled out all stops, and I love it when artists don't hold back, when they really give their all in a project. Yeah, this is a great song. I'm not going to wait until I have more followers or a bigger following to release this. I'm going to release this now, and I'm going to give you the best that I can offer. And this really feels like it's the best that she can offer to her listeners.
Definitely, it's a really beautiful listen, and I'm really glad we got to review it. I don't know if I would have listened to this whole thing if we weren't doing a podcast in a weird way. Because sometimes
Yeah.
I think I like a song by an artist, but I don't necessarily go out of my way to listen to the album. Sometimes when you do like a song and you go out your way to listen to an album, you just like the song, and that's it. But I think that with her, I listen to Foreign Things. I love Foreign Things, the song, and then I came out of this album with a lot of songs that I really enjoy. So I'm really glad that I took the step beyond just listening to the song and actually listen to the whole album. And I think she has a new fan out of me. I think I think she's great. I think she's super talented. And I don't know why she's not like a more prominent name in the genre, because I think she deserves a lot more credit than she's been given thus far. But hopefully this album and her future projects are able to get her that, because I think she's really talented. If I had to recommend this to our listeners, I think based on the current context of R&B and where R&B is at and what people are probably accustomed to listening to versus what this actually is, I think it's a must listen. I think that if you enjoy the genre and you enjoy the vibes, you enjoy the whisper tracks, you enjoy, you know, the production that sounds a little samey over the course of the album, I think this album could, I think it'll probably blow you out of the water, to be honest, based on like everything that she's doing here and what she's taking risks and accomplishing on this project. So it's a must listen for me. What about you?
I've been waffling back and forth with what I would give this album. Because it's so new and novel to me, I didn't know if I was, because sometimes when, you know, we're in the midst of like digging into an album and into a project, you get kind of a bias where you want to like some things because you're listening to it and you want to be
Mm.
positive. But at the same time, you should also know and be able to recognize something special. And I think this is one of those moments. She did something really special on this project. From a song to song perspective, there's no misses. Things aren't as great as they are in some spots, but that, you know, but that in and of itself is an accomplishment, where your average song is better than most people's, you know, a lot of people's music. And what you're able to do just sets you, when you're really on your game, it just sets you apart from the rest. um yeah, she does something special with each and every song. She develops this really wonderful sound overall. And I think I gotta agree. I think this is a must listen, man. I
All right.
cannot, I really can't not recommend this album. I would recommend this album to basically anybody who wants to listen to good music, just good music overall, music that will sound familiar but different enough, that and novel enough that it can take you on a journey, and that you can be down for. It's awesome, man. It's a must listen.
Yeah, it gets to put you on game stamp of approval from both of us. I think stamp it. I think it's that good. I think it's a highly recommend at least. If anybody said give it a shot, I'd be like, you crazy. I think it's that good. But yeah, I almost forgot. I think I just totally skipped favorite tracks. But let's go ahead and get into those. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and say foreign things. Obviously, I think it's just that good. So that's one. I'll say one as one of my favorites as well. The intro, what it is. So that'll be three. And give me Event Horizon.
Okay. Yeah, those are some great tracks. I gotta agree with Foreign Things. Great. Give me Dark Side. I can listen to Dark Side every day. Um, what it is, fantastic, as well as Softly.
Yeah, yeah. I can't disagree. I can't disagree. There's a lot of great things about the album. But yeah, if you haven't already, guys, just go ahead and check that out. I think Amber Mark deserves a few more listens at the very least, and hopefully, you know, she'll be a household name in a couple years, you know, with, or at least, you know, taking her spot at near the top with within the R&B genre. So let us know what you thought about the album if you have heard it, and that'll do it for the show.